Please welcome our class president, Alida Pahlevan.
Okay, I'm just gonna. Good morning, everyone. As the president of the OCC, it is my great pleasure to welcome faculty, central administration, the Board of Education, parents, family, and the most resilient graduating class of Roslyn High School, our class of 2021. Now I want to turn my attention to my peers and collectively soak in how surreal this day feels. As this may be the first and last time we are all in the same space at the same moment, let's talk about ourselves and take a trip down memory lane. Most of us met for the first time in kindergarten, back when our biggest worries were coloring inside the lines, scrambling to become the line leader, or wondering what that mysterious 21 stood for at the end of our computer logins. Back then, we did not realize we'd be accompanying each other on a whirlwind of a 13-year adventure until today. We were too focused on becoming mini adults, parading through the hallways with backpacks slightly too large for us, yet always accompanied by huge smiles plastered across our faces and mingling with our new fellow companions. But then, in first grade, the unthinkable happened. Kids bound for East Hills stayed at Heights while our other friends migrated to Harbor Hill, and we were all split for the first time. As a 6-year-old, there were not many moments of drastic changes I went through that I could draw upon. Sure, sometimes the cafeteria ran out of my favorite bagels and I had to resort to that weird mystery meat, or I wore snow boots by accident on a gym day, but our class's separation was my first real experience of uncontrollable change, knowing that I'd be separate from my peers for 5 whole years. Then East Hills came along, and the feelings of nostalgia and sadness were quickly replaced. Soon we became hungry to master the recorder, manage our checkbooks at Commerce Plaza, and pass our internet safety tests. But just as soon as we started, in October of 2012, we went through another period of change. Hurricane Sandy. Everything we had been taken for granted had been flipped on its head. Little worries we had before, such as running to the bus stop in time or finally conquering the dome during recess, were replaced by worries we were fortunate enough to never have, like wondering when our electricity would turn on, or the next time we would see one another again. Because of this, we learned to appreciate every single little thing in our lives, for that at any moment they could be easily taken away. But even so, we prospered and we remembered to cherish. And in the blink of an eye, we were already chanting on top of the world for our 5th grade graduation. And we truly felt on top of the world, as we were finally the oldest in the school, survived the beastly hurricane, and designated our final marks with plaques that remain hung in the hallways of East Hills. Up next, we had middle school and some good news. We were finally reunited, and we were ecstatic to see our fellow companions from East Hills and Harbor Hill. Middle school was a time where we saw ourselves go through a different type of change, one that was unique and personal. No longer were we following that same repetitive 9-to-3 school schedule, but instead we got to select classes we were interested in, join clubs that inspired us, and participate in sports that we were passionate about. Although we were all together, we were watching ourselves and one another slowly transform into the unique and different individuals that we are today. When we took our high school tour in 8th grade, the idea of navigating around that little labyrinth seemed impossible. Everything on the first day of high school was a sensory overload. The tall ceilings, boundless hallways, and even the scary upperclassmen at the time, who seemed so old and mature, were all unfamiliar territory. Our first 2 years were filled with our exhilaration to explore this new chapter of our lives. From getting stickered on Freshman Friday to starting new norms by cheering on our soccer team for homecoming, we were eager to experience this journey together. Most notably, freshman year, we went through Challenge Day. A day filled with sadness, vulnerability, and compassion. We learned things about one another that were hidden deep underneath the surface, and to quite literally never judge a book by its cover. Now, fast forward to junior year. One warning upperclassmen would always share is to prepare for the perils of junior year, a time where we would struggle to balance a handful of APs and honors courses, excruciating standardized tests, and on top of that, build our resumes for college applications. But no one could forecast the pandemic that we had incoming. Sunny skies and hot weather with a 100% chance of always being at home. What originally was a 2-week spring break vacation entailing no sports practice, no schoolwork, and a time to dust off our bikes for the first time in years became an extended fever dream for the rest of the school year. Despite the pain and agony that comes with waking up at school for 8 a.m., we once again forgot about those little moments that even made junior year worthwhile. Dressing up in the morning just to attend Zoom class was melancholic and disheartening. Breaks in between classes became a time to scramble to charge our devices and stare blankly at ourselves in the Zoom loading screen instead of the rushed conversations in the school hallways that we cherished. Bonds formed during sports practice were long-forgotten normalcies, and walking to Geno's or 7-Eleven with friends after school seemed like a national crime in our ghost town. But when we heard that we would be back in person for our senior year, we did little dances of triumph. Finally, some normalcy. Although our senior year was affected by these unprecedented times, and I know that everyone is sick and tired of hearing that phrase, we were ready to embrace any positive change at all. About a week ago, our grade was able to look back on all our accomplishments at senior party, stir up nostalgic memories, and once again be reminded that the show must go on. Later that week, we had prom, and while we all awkwardly danced together, it's crazy to imagine that being that close was taboo just a few months ago. And now we stand here graduating today, together, ready to tackle our futures with full force. Now I would like to thank some very integral people who have shaped me into the person that I am today through all my years of high school, and everyone else should take a moment of gratitude too for the people that brought them here today. Ms. Perlman and Mrs. Gerges, thank you for being the most wonderful advisors these past 4 years in OCC. Your guidance has turned me into a strong and articulate leader. Both of you have taught me patience, dedication, and determination, and these are traits that I will carry with me for years to come. To my beautiful mother, thank you for everything. Your confidence in me has never wavered for a single moment. Dreams that seemed impossible to me throughout the years felt attainable with your motivation. And although we often get mistaken for being sisters, you truly are my built-in best friend. To my brilliant father, there is no other person who would wake up at 5 a.m. with me to run around the track or challenge me to a jalapeno eating contest. Thank you for motivating me both anywhere and everywhere, whether it is within the classroom, research lab, or on the track field. To Adrian and Isla, the smaller and much younger copies of me. In about 10 years, you two will be in my shoes, and if all goes to plan, you will have to chase me down traveling the world. I'm so proud of the both of you as you grow into more inquisitive and intelligent people each day. In addition to our class, I would like to congratulate 2 other faculty members who will be graduating with us today, Ms. McHugh and Ms. Grasso. Thank you both for your immense dedication and service to the Roslyn community, and we all wish you the best of luck on your retirements. Dear class of 2021, it has been more than an honor to serve as your class and now school president for the past 4 years. Cherish the moments we have all had together. Although we now diverge once again, ahead of us are 237 unique and prosperous paths for every one of us. I look around me and see a ton of talented individuals who are eager to embrace change instead of shying away from it. The point is, we will never stop changing. With every little change that we're about to go through, we will learn something new. And in our futures are a ton of changes and questions that we won't know the answers to. But there is one thing that we will know for sure, which is that no matter what, we will prosper and we will remember to cherish. I would like to give one last congratulations to all of us for our accomplishments thus far, and I wish you all the best. Stay in touch. Signing off, your President Alida.